All right, so she did us right, but it's kind of time to return the favor, I think. So this thing needs, we got to figure out the governor adjustment so we can have a start and we can let the thing idle. That would be nice. Got to hook up a starter button. We got to get it charging. We'll see if we can get a good alternator for that. Got some more general wiring to do. Got to change the oil. Got some massive oil leaks. We got a massive air leak. Basically, this thing needs probably a collection of like 35 years of maintenance, all packed into a short video because we still got work to do on the 977s. Let's get to work. It is hot, like really Michigan hot out here right now. So I want to take this and maybe we'll cart it off kind of over there in the shade. But I'm just one man, and one man alone cannot start the Michigan unless we wire up a starter button on it. So let's do that first and then we can move it. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, there's a decent chance the torque converter's still got to come out. So see, we have a starter button right here. We just got to figure out what goes where. Alright, so there's our starty guy. Should be able to take that loose and then got to run her out somewhere. We also, ooh, that's a big tick, ain't it? Okay, so we got a voltmeter there, and then we got our oil pressure gauge is this one. So I want to put an oil pressure switch in here so we can kind of manage this stuff. So a machine like this is pretty basic. We've got battery power going to one side of the starter. A button will close that solenoid, start the starter. So we need a switch going to this, and then I also need hot to come back to the switch. So I'm just gonna run 2 wires from here. One of them's gonna be coming from that battery cable. The other one's gonna be going back to that. If someone ever leaves like Romex, it's not a good wiring job. I'll just leave it at that. Extension cord, that's another classic. All right, so my white's gonna be my signal. My red's gonna be my always hot. Like, oh, sorry guys. But let's just see if we get liftoff. I gotta get out of the sun, I'm melting. My dad gets crabby in the sun. I'll put it right here for now. All right, so this can go up here. And the red's gonna go to this side, but I need a little pigtail to bring power to our oil pressure switch. We also gotta check the oil in the hubs. So you roll it to where that's at the top, and then you just fill it up with oil.
All the way to the top you fill it?
I think so. We can check the manual, but check that plug out. Oh boy, we're gonna have to get new plugs. Must not have been that tight.
I bet they're only half full.
Well, we can check the manual and see what they say. I don't see any oil.
Huh. Well, if I get them loose, that'd be a big thing.
Yeah. Yeah, he's saying if he can get them loose, then that's a victory. Got the pressure switch, but we gotta hook it in. All right, so we gotta tee this into here. So it looks like that's the same thread down there. If we had like a street tee, that would be sweet. So this is our hot right here. So this will be always on, and then when the oil pressure hits and it closes the switch, then we'll have switch stuff. So I've got temperature gauge, voltmeter, this will be to our alternator, and then I'll leave one spare lead as well for an hour meter, because it would be nice to kind of track the hours on this stuff. I don't think we'll have anything else, but you know, we can always add. Yeah, no, that's wired up right, but my ground could be suspect. Let's just get the voltmeter out and see what we got. Intermittent ground. Well, it should work. All right, so this is the wire from the alternator. So I should have 12 volts to this when that switch makes. But hey, look at this. It's the little things in life. Now we want to watch for it to turn off, because if it doesn't turn off, then we know we're draining our battery. Wow. This might not seem like a big deal, but this is functionality that this loader has not had in my entire life. Oh, that's cool. So I'm going to string a wire for that temperature gauge, because I actually think that sucker might work. And then once I get an alternator, this baby should charge. So amazing. All right, and then this air filter here is just like the wrong size, I think. So I'm gonna pop that out and get a measurement and then pack up. My dad will probably get some parts this week, and then I'll see you guys right now. All right, another day. My dad kind of got that started for us. He just wasn't quite sure how much hose we needed. There's another one right here. This thing needs like a complete set of hydraulic hoses, as you guys can probably tell. It's brisk this morning. 2 weeks ago I was up here and it was a little hot. Excuse me. Didn't bring any soap. Oh, that felt good. Air leak should be good. I got a stop cable here. I just ordered like a generic one from Amazon, and I talked to Timothy at Lead about the governor adjustment because I read the manual on it and I was kind of stressed out. A lot of parts going on, but that's why I called them, because he said it's really simple. So there are 2 screws. This is full throttle. This is idle, and looking at it now, he said a lot of times what happens is they just get wanked and bent. So he said, go ahead and bend them back. And if I bend those back, that'll actually probably be right where it needs to be. And then the shutoff cable in the manual, they're telling me to do all this weird stuff up here. He said it just attaches to the rack and pulls your rack off, just like the other one was. So this should be really easy. I said, what about it running away on me? And he said, it's not gonna run away because you're not really messing with anything. He said, you could make it idle too high, but he said that shouldn't really be like hard to fix or anything. And then he said, don't go in there and mess with the governor unless you feel like the machine is lacking power, not running right. This thing seems to have a lot of power since the rebuild. They just make a lot of noise. So let's route that cable and see if we can get this thing idling for the first time in probably 30 years. Just had a visit with some friendly golfers. They wondered why I was wearing a microphone and why there was dogs running around. Both fair questions. I'm stuck. All right, so throttle on, it's gonna be in, and then we'll pull that rack back to shut it off, I think. Yeah, let me go push on the throttle. I'm hoping that's the way. When we pull on this, it should shut it off. I just need a little ferrule to go on the end of that. Luckily, right behind me is a more with a ferrule on it. Oh, and I just dropped it. How great is that? We'll bring her off a little. And then I'll throw the overspeed one. And that's wide open. I guess we should hop in her and start it up and kind of fine tune her from there. All right, fire in the hole. Hopefully she don't take off on me. The internet has freaked me out about Detroit diesels. Run away, run away, run away. But let's try I'll pull the stop cable and roll it over first. All right, let's go quarter turn in. Okay, so now if I stop it, will it restart? I don't think it will. That's marginal, I guess. I think we want to idle it down just a little more for like shifting and such, you know. No air leak though, huh? It's not moving, like at all. Oh boy. What the hell? It's just like that torque converter just filling up again. You're just suctioning that is letting in the air. So I did notice one thing over here. I do see a pretty hefty leak on that one, right around that fitting. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think that's our fitting we're looking for. It looks like a suction fitting. Something else. It looks like the transmission pump is the one on the other side. That's transmission right there. Beans. So my theory right now is that letting it idle for 5 minutes was enough to put it over the edge, kinda. Before it would never idle. So like if we use it in 5-minute bursts, that was a lot in some sense, right? So I actually noticed on our transmission pump right there, for some reason I see bubbles. See that? See a bubble coming up? So I wonder if that's a weep hole or if something's leaking on that. I think the first thing to do would probably be power wash it, I guess. I don't know. And do some breathing. But I'll let that drain out and then we should change the oil on this thing because we were supposed to change it after an hour of operation, post rebuild. And I don't think we probably put an hour on at least. So let's change the oil. I'll wait for it to drain out and then we'll idle it back in its spot there. I guess right here is as good a place as any to change the oil. My pants. Better than my pants than on the earth, right? I hope this is not burned for arguments. There's no way. I think it was over full though. So before we put some oil on it, I've never really taken the time to look at this torque converter locking up issue that we're having. I'm seeing some oil leaks and whatnot, so let's just go over this one more time. See, it's awfully wet. And it looks like the wetness starts right up at that pump up there. You can see it leaking. That might be a pretty good clue. See that drop right there? If I were a betting man, that would be a good clue. I've never really seen something bubble like that, out the pump, unless it's a weep hole. So, to be continued. Let me do some Googling and we'll see. Get it out. Get all your energy out up here. Surprised more people don't have ladders to work on machines. That's how you know it's a good machine. Old school.
Is he hanging out? I thought that was a snake.
Oh, there is a snake on the stick.
Oh, there's a snake on the stick.
All right. This is the old trick. Cooper, you're gonna get it.
How long do you think we need it?
That long, probably.
Really?
Yeah.
Fun to collect dirt, put oil on them. Then when you're not around, the workers grab them, and guess where they flush all that dirt? Down right into the motor. So I don't have funnels.
All right, I think I'm just gonna back it up, and we're probably gonna wait on it. You know, we've been talking. We were laughing earlier because we were like, wow. Well, we said we got to do a fan, an alternator,
Air filter.
oh, and an air filter. And we said, then that's it. We're done with it. But engine's probably gonna have to come out. I don't think we're gonna mess with that pump because taking what we learned from the 977, or what I learned, I guess, it's like you don't want to spend 2 days troubleshooting when you could have the motor out and the torque converter rebuilt in 2 days, you know. So we got other little stuff we can do. And honestly, our goal with this thing, like I said, we don't want to open another can of worms when we've already got a bunch of can of worms open. So our goal with this is just be able to pull the engines and kind of get the 977s going. So I think we're in a pretty good spot with those, where, you know, we might be able to get one at least moving and driving a little bit. And then if we got a 977 going, then that could kind of replace the Michigan as the heavy lifter. And then we can move on this. So let's move it back and park it. And then we got to find an alternator, fan, and air filter for it. Yeah, hey, check this out though. Now, that's pretty cool. I don't think this thing's idled in 35 years. Oh, I forgot to look. I should have checked to see if the drive shaft was spinning. Because if it wasn't, then that means for sure the torque converter's locking up, you know? Even with a broke torque converter, still puts a smile on my face. So I want to see if the drive shaft's still spinning. Because if it's not, then we know exactly what's going on. Yeah, a little bit, but not like it did, I don't think.
Slowing down.
So we can let it idle for a minute. All right, it's not locked up, so there is like a safety valve in there that could be sticking, because I'm confused as to why last time when we pulled the trans out of the 977, it ran just fine, and now all of a sudden it's locking up like really quick. So maybe it's not a seal like we think, and it could just be a valve that's sticking. Still spinning. I don't know, I don't get it. There's a very real chance that after sitting for 15 years, it just needs to be ran. You know, he's not buying it. But I know this, we're gonna fix the rest of the stuff we need to make it, you know, bare minimum safe and functional, and we're gonna use it. So I got an alternator for this finally. And we got an air filter. I think my dad's gonna work on the air filter.
So that will go. Boy, that might be close.
So we just ended up getting a new unit from Donaldson. I'll put a link what we ran, but I just matched up the CFM and everything because we could not find a canister for that. So this is actually a little bigger than what we had, but it'll be nice. Looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'll try and get that old one off. Yeah, it looks very similar to the diameter, so those clamps should work. Well, I guess we got to take that off first, one way or another. I got a new can of TV Blaster too.
Not WD-40? Marginal.
I need a ladder.
You need a log?
Oh, that might work.
Do we have any more? So I ordered this through DB Electrical. I don't know. I mean, it's just something I could find online that seemed pretty reliable. So it's just a one-wire alternator. So literally if it's spinning like 200 RPMs, you hook this straight to battery all the time, not switch, and it'll just start spitting out power. So should be a good unit. I mean, I'd rather go with something a little better, but you know, it's a loader. It's like 65 amps or something. I'm trying not to overcomplicate every single project in my life. Keyword is trying. I'm probably not doing very well. All right. Yeah, go up a little more. All right. Yeah, come on in. Like, lift the hood a little bit. All right, now we can get some work done. Let me see.
What, on the bottom? I like that though, that's nice.
Yeah, boy.
What happened? Oh.
That's perfect, huh?
Oh yeah, man. We need some new bolts though, don't you think?
Yeah, and I gotta put that, let me put that boot on first too.
You need help? Yeah, you got it. Would you like just a regular bolt?
I think so, don't you?
I'll go see if he's got one.
A bigger one. Alright, so that's a big improvement. Got to put a clamp on there, that's bigger. And then this, we just have the wrong size, so we'll have to get an adapter, but that's fine for now. At least it's getting healthy, clean air. So now we can run a wire for the alternator and get that charging. All right, my dad put a hose clamp on for us. I got the alternator wired up. So that's the beauty of a one-wire alternator. I literally just ran a wire. My uncle found me a nice wire from a golf cart. And I literally just ran it down to, and then let's fire it up quick because I want to see if it charges. This is literally the first time this thing's gonna have a working charging system in my life, which is pretty crazy. So the fan actually runs via a separate set of belts that drives from that pulley down there to this up here. And this goes on just like that. So there's a bunch of different fans and belt sizes on this. So I'm just gonna bolt this up. Let's measure some stuff and then we'll order the right stuff and we'll put a new bearing in this too because this is pretty nasty. It's brisk this one, it's like 30 degrees. So I think technically when you measure a belt, it's actually to the OD, like the top of the belt. It's hard to measure that though. Boy, that is gross. there a bolt in there? Oh, cow. So these batteries, they're probably golf cart batteries, first of all, deep cells. And then this is the original battery tray. And that's never been used in my lifetime. We always had the batteries up on the hood back here. I don't know what this bungee cord was on there for, but it's a perfectly good bungee cord, and it's spray painted yellow. Alright, so I got the battery cables out. We'll just get some new ones. So I need a ground strap that goes up there on the frame, and then this is the original battery cable that goes back to the starter. Look at this. About scrap is all that's good for. Then I think I'll just power wash that out and maybe throw some fluid film on it or some oil or something. I'm not trying to drive into a project, but that'll be a good home for the new battery. All right, so our belt needs to be somewhere in the 36-inch range. So we need a 2-foot ground strap. We probably need about an 8-foot battery cable. So that's pretty simple. Then our fan, boy, a 2-foot fan would be too big. An 18-inch fan, it looks like. Because 20-inch would just be too big, I think. Yeah, so we could go with an 18 or 20-inch fan maybe. And then the space we have off here, like if it was 4 inches, I mean, even if it was really close right to here, I think that'd be fine. And I think we want a pusher fan, so it pushes the air through the radiator. So let's go get some supplies, and then we can come back and put them on. So one of the things I used to love with that Michigan is grading, so I might try and level this out. He did a pretty good job with the dozer yesterday, but it's just not flat. Yeah, you're good. Just feel back all the way out. We think, believe it or not, the forklift might be stuck in its current condition. All right, that wheel sunk in about a 1/2 inch. I'll give it that. Well, you can see it kind of works, but you remember when we were pulling the engine on that Cat and the pin for the lift came out and I just hacked a bolt in there? See, it flattens out pretty nice. Those forks are so wide, it does a good job. You just got to get good at, lifting and lowering it like a dozer. The pin fell out, so I literally came up here to drop the rake and it just... Check that out, yeah. All right, it's like kind of Thanksgiving holiday, so I'm gonna take this and we're gonna drive it over to my parents and just put it kind of by the house so that we can work on it while we're cooking and eating and hanging out with family. So I'll see you guys over there. Look who else joined the fun. Wow. It's pretty nice. He's got a nice sand pad for me to work on stuff right here. All right, so I got some cool stuff. I have, you know, the Michigan 353 parts book is online, so you can find basically anything you need. So I was looking through part numbers for fans. This was like a 18 or 20 inch pusher fan, seemed perfect. So I Googled the part number and I found this guy for like 60 bucks, new old stock out of some like military salvage place. So apparently in the Vietnam War, there was some amphibious vehicle that had a 353 Detroit in them. And this is what the fan was from. They listed it there. So did that. Got a new bearing in here, so that's nice and smooth. Then also in the parts book, they had the belts listed. And again, we just measured that length and line that up. So I'm gonna just bolt this thing on. It shouldn't take me more than a few minutes to put the fan on. Hi, sweet girl. You tell everyone you went swimming today? 39 degrees. Went swimming. Did you tell everyone you're eating poop? We can do away with our fan wiring now. Last one's gonna fight me. Boy, don't that look good. Does anyone need a fan for a 96 Crown Vic with a 4.6 in it? Hit me up. I'll make you a good deal. You can tell it's leaking just out of the plug because there's no Teflon or nothing on it. I just got some new plugs with sealant on them from McMaster. Oh yeah, that's nice. I don't know exactly which way this goes, but if it spins that way, it'll push. And if it spins that way, it'll also push. So I'm guessing it goes just like that. Alright, it's getting dark, but there it is. Let's fire it up quick and see what it looks like.
Too plugged up. Think so?
Man, it was blowing in my face, blowing crap in my face.
It was?
Yeah, it was.
I think it's just jumped up then.
It could be. What in the world's going on? Like the wind picked up or something. Here, hold this. Let me put my light on the other side down here. It might just be a little dirty.
Yeah, you know, it doesn't look horrible, but
No.
it's
Maybe
also
just a little power wash on.
not great. Yeah, yeah, we can clean her up tomorrow.
Oh, man, that air was blowing through good when you revved it up.
Really?
Yeah, that surprised me.
All right, that's pretty cool. So we got a fan. Now I think we can do the battery cables and put the battery down from its temporary perch. All right, check out this battery cable I got. BatteryCablesUSA.com or something. So we got 9 feet. Who's gonna go over there and run it for us? Luke. We got our
He's checking out his tractor.
we got our right-hand man out here with us today. We're gonna park that. And when you're like 4 years old and you want to drive it, we're gonna say, yeah, you can drive it if you can start it, right? That's the old classic.
Line it up.
Oh. Oh wow, these 2 hoses for the lift right here. Huh.
How are they?
They don't look bad. They're
Yeah,
easy,
where'd they go?
easy to change though, it looks
Really?
like, yeah. Listen to the power. Oh yeah. He likes the diesel car, but it puts him to sleep. It's just an easy go that he stretched. And he put a 3-cylinder Kubota diesel in it. It runs pretty good, but it does need a little bit of work, so if you guys are really set on seeing it, then I would be open to bringing it to my
The only thing I
garage
don't have
and
here
doing some work on it.
is an electric golf cart.
You want one?
Maybe.
He said the only thing he doesn't have here is an electric golf cart. I don't think he wants one though either. I need the right cable shears. Alright, I got the battery cable routed there. And then the negative just bolts right there. We just kind of made one up. So we're looking good there. We still have to just figure out the air intake and then really little stuff, but I think we're gonna kind of wrap this up and go use it. We got a massive brush pile out there that needs to tighten up. But before we do that, I want to clean out where the battery's gonna go. So that means it's everyone's favorite time. This thing should look pretty good with a little bit of washing. What do you guys think? Worth it? Probably took me a half hour. So I would say, by the way she looks, yes. Hitting that line right there. Oh. Hey, it is cold out this morning. 22 degrees or so. So this hard line won't let my battery terminals go in. So I'm thinking if we fire it up and we raise it up, okay, yeah, they need to go far away. Then we should be able to slip that in. We'll give her just a little taste. Tight squeeze, but that looks nice, doesn't it?
Yeah, we got that.
Wow, look at that. So before there was just a piece of treated plywood here.
Oh, yeah, anything.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. Come on, go. Give me that. It's a little tall and wobbly, but it's gonna have to do for now. Maybe I'll cut that pipe down 6 inches or so. We got a TD20E that was up for scrap. We bought, it's coming in probably about 2.5 hours. So we got to start up and head over there. We're probably gonna use this guy in the TD8 to unload another dead dozer. She's been running pretty good. We use it to unload that TD20 if you look on the left side over there. But you guys will see that in another video. That was pretty epic. So honestly, you know, I think it's time to really put her to the test. We haven't ran it a ton. And if you look, my dad's got probably 3 brush piles around here that look like this. They need to be tightened up quite a bit. He's got a couple stumps, a couple logs he wants me to move. And then back there is a bucket and a cultivator. So I'm gonna fire it up and let's give her a good test today. I don't see why not, right? It's kind of what you get when you work on this stuff. You get the celebration of getting to use it. So back in like, boy, probably early spring, we had a windstorm, knocked out some blue spruce trees. And that was about the time when we were finishing up the rebuild on that. My dad said, as soon as you get it running and drive it out, you can go take out that big pine stump for me. Well, here it is almost a year later, and let's see if we can get it out for him. All right, so this whole area here has been years and years of overgrown brush. My dad wants to burn it and clean it up. So what we've kind of been waiting for is we've kind of been waiting for the Michigan. So I'm gonna see if I can start to spoon some of this out and pile it up here for him. It's gonna be tough, but I think we got the machine for the job. Well, she may not be perfect. It might not be a Caterpillar or a John Deere, but I really like this thing. And it's a perfect loader. It's simple, you know, it's pretty easy to work on. Great yard loader, great for maintaining something like a golf course like we have. I mean, look at this thing. I ran it for probably a half hour doing what it does best. We still got 15 more years of brush to uncover because it's been sitting around for that long, right? So I know it's not perfect. Still needs a little bit of work, but an old machine like this, we're always gonna be working on it. However, given a year ago, my dad and I were dropping pistons and sleeves in the snow. She's come a long ways. So I hope you guys enjoy the transformation. Hope you guys enjoy hearing that engine run because, man, she just screams, you know. And it's really going to help us do a lot of the things we want to do in the future, just having it around, you know. It was already huge, and unloading that TD20, we wouldn't have been able to do it without the Michigan here. So I'm thrilled. I couldn't be happier. So I think I'm going to keep playing around. I got it so you can go around it at least, so you can light it on fire once the snow falls. But I might keep cleaning up and feeding a little bit of brush. I'm having fun. That's why I like doing this stuff, because I get to use it, right? So thanks for watching, guys. If you guys have any comments, if anyone has information about the torque converter, that's driving me nuts. You know, where should we go next? I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments. You know, thanks for all the support. Other than that, I mean, just another piece of old iron. It's kind of saved and back into operational. My dad has hated this thing because when they built this 9 holes here, he never used it because it was always cobbled up. You know, he could never hop in it, hit the key, and use it. Hated it. Hated this thing. He actually told me that when he lights this fire, he's going to use, not the Kubota, the Michigan. He's going to use the Michigan to fork that stuff out and feed it as it burns. So that's how you know you did a good job, when your dad actually wants to use something. Although he did have to work on this thing. But all right, guys, thanks for watching. I'm going to keep messing around. I'll see you in the next one. Crunch.